Application architecture, a description of the structure and interaction of the applications as groups of capabilities that provide key business functions and manage the data assets. Architectural style, the combination of distinctive features related to the specific context within which architecture is performed or expressed, a collection of principles and characteristics that steer or constrain how an architecture is formed. Architecture, the fundamental concepts or properties of a system in its environment, embodied in its elements, relationships, and in the principles of its design and evolution. The structure of components, their interrelationships, and the principles and guidelines governing their design and evolution over time. Architecture building block, ABB, a constituent of the architecture model that describes a single aspect of the overall model. Architecture continuum, a part of the enterprise continuum, a repository of architectural elements with increasing detail and specialization. Note, this continuum begins with foundational definitions such as reference models, core strategies, and basic building blocks. From there, it spans to industry architectures and all the way to an organization's specific architecture. Architecture Development Method, ADM, the core of the TOGAF framework, a multi-phase, iterative approach to develop and use an enterprise architecture to shape and govern business transformation and implementation projects. Architecture domain, the architectural area being considered. The TOGAF framework has 4 primary architecture domains within the TOGAF standard: business, data, application, and technology. Other domains may also be considered, for example, security. Architecture framework, a conceptual structure used to plan, develop, implement, govern, and sustain an architecture. Architecture governance, the practice of monitoring and directing architecture-related work. The goal is to deliver desired outcomes and adhere to relevant principles, standards, and roadmaps. Architecture principle, a qualitative statement of intent that should be made by the architecture. Architecture view, a representation of a system from the perspective of a related set of concerns. Architecture viewpoint, a specification of the conventions for a particular kind of architecture view. Architecture vision, a succinct description of the target architecture that describes its business value and the changes to the enterprise that will result from its successful deployment. It serves as an aspirational vision and a boundary for detailed architecture development. Artifact, an architectural work product that describes an aspect of the architecture.